Welcome to the SoberQ podcast.
Hi, my name is Jay and I'm an alcoholic. The question is, how do I know I am an alcoholic? Speaking from my own experience, before I came into the program, I had thoughts, I had fears about this, based on my past experience, based on how my life was unfolding. And I guess it was speaking to a friend who eventually 12-stepped me. I looked at him as someone who had his life completely under control, from the outside. Everything looked fine, and when speaking to him, I was very surprised to find out that he was in the rooms himself, and there was some identification. If he could be in the rooms and was an alcoholic, then I could potentially belong there as well. So it was that first identification that got me onto the path of acceptance, to knowing that I was an alcoholic. And then that identification followed in my early time in the rooms, from my first few meetings, seeing people just like me, my same age, from similar backgrounds, in similar jobs, having that sense of identification, again, really helped me to sort of get on that path of acceptance. And even when I saw people and heard people who weren't the same as me, from very different backgrounds, hearing their stories and seeing that actually, despite being very different on the outside, our drinking was the same and how we felt on the inside was the same. That was a big thing for me. All of those were very important in my early days. But the real breakthrough for me was working step one with my sponsor. Reading the doctor's opinion and the first few chapters in the book, having discussions with my sponsor around step one, and working that step. Everyone might work it slightly differently, but for me it was a case of writing down sort of a long list of my drinking history, the consequences, what happened, and talking that through with my sponsor. And when you do that or work this step and you look back on, your relationship to alcohol, how you've been feeling, how you've been dealing with things, and the ways in which, the consequences have developed and got worse over time, it's very eye-opening. And from then, it became very clear to me after doing that exercise that I was powerless over alcohol and that my life was very much unmanageable. So that's how I personally, came to understand and accept that I was in fact an alcoholic.
If you would like to share your experience on a recovery question, visit the SoberQ podcast website at soberq.com. Thanks for listening.